Good morning, students. We have concluded the topic thermodynamics. Now we are continuing with the next one, that is kinetic theory. Basically, kinetic theory is a broad theory which is dealing with kinetic theory of matter. It is actually called as kinetic theory of matter. You know, matter is consisting of basically four states. Matter is of four states: solid, liquid, gas and plasma state. Matter exists in four states: solid, liquid, gas and plasma state. It was Dalton 200 years ago, around about 1700, that is in the 17th century, proposed that all the matter consists of small entities called as atoms. Whether it is solid, liquid or gas or even plasma, it consists of atoms. Plasma is a different state, which is an ionized state. So we are not studying much details about plasma. Okay. So whether it is solid, liquid or gas, mainly these three states, the entire matter consists of smallest particles called as atoms. These atoms combine together in a proper proportion to form the molecules. Then to study the properties of these solids, liquids and gases, we are basically studying through the atomic and molecular activities taking place in these three states. The properties of the solids can be studied through the atomic and molecular activities taking place in the solid. That is what we call it as molecular picture, atomic and molecular picture. Similarly, liquids and gases. We all know that solids have a definite shape and size, definite volume. Solids have definite volume and definite shape. It is because the molecules in a solid are very closely packed. The inter-atomic or intermolecular distance between the solid molecules is fixed. It's very close. They do not have any space. So they have fixed volume and fixed size and shape. Whereas liquids, as you know, the molecules are little apart, but still there is a strong bonding between the liquid molecules. So liquids have definite volume, but they don't have definite shape. Whereas gases, in the case of state of gas, the intermolecular distance is very large. Interatomic distance in the case of a gas is very large. It is more than 10 times or more than the 10 times the size of each atom. And intermolecular distance or intermolecular attractive force, interatomic force is negligible. So the molecules or gases in case of molecules or atoms in case of a gaseous state are having maximum energy. As a result, they will be having random motion. So the gases do not have any particular shape, they do not have particular volume. So if they are taken in any container, if it is open, so gas will escape out of it because of the motion of the molecules. There is almost no intermolecular or interattractive force existing between the gaseous molecules. Right? So we are studying the properties of the matter with the help of atomic and molecular activities. So that is what we call it as kinetic theory of matter. So first we will write what is kinetic theory of matter. The study of atomic and molecular activity of atomic and molecular activity to understand the properties. Of a material in a particular state. In a particular state is called kinetic theory of matter. In short, you can write KTM, kinetic theory of matter. So, kinetic theory of solids. The kinetic theory of solids will help us to understand the properties of solids, like its melting point, properties of solids, especially thermal properties, elastic properties, so etc. These properties of solids can be understood by the kinetic theory of solids. You know, solids, as I said, is consisting of atoms which are closely packed. Then what do you mean by kinetic? Kinetic is related to the motion. The motion of these molecules. How is it affecting the properties of this particular matter, that is solid? See, when you consider a solid, solid is consisting of the atoms or molecules which are closely packed. So they don't have any space for their motion. So only possible motion of the solid molecules, or only possible motion of the atoms or molecules of a solid, is the vibratory motion. So the vibratory motion of, or vibrational motion of these atoms or molecules will lead to the thermal properties. More the vibrational motion of a particular solid matter, particular solid material, more is its vibrational kinetic energy of the molecules. More the vibrational kinetic energy of the molecules, more is the temperature. That's how we will have a interpretation, kinetic interpretation of temperature. Then based on the intermolecular attractive force, you know, intermolecular force in the solid molecules is the strongest, right? So based on this intermolecular attractive force, we study the elastic properties. We have already studied the elastic properties, right? The stress, strain, elongation, compression, all these things we have studied. So elongation, compression can be very well explained based on the intermolecular attractive force, right? So that is the properties of solids. Similarly, kinetic theory of liquids. Kinetic theory of liquids will help us to study the properties of liquids. Properties of liquids, that is thermal properties and elastic properties, you can say, and liquids at rest, liquids in motion, basically flow of liquids. All these things can be studied with the help of kinetic theory of liquids. So properties of liquids, such as their evaporation. So whenever heat is supplied to a liquid, you know, the temperature rises because of the movement of the molecules, and afterwards at a high temperature it will reach its boiling point, and then evaporation of the liquid state take place into gaseous state as a result of more and more kinetic energies. So that's how the kinetic theory of the liquids help us to study the properties of liquids such as evaporation, boiling points, boiling point, and so on. You can just go on listing all the properties like viscosity, and then you can write the properties of surface tension, capillarity, flowing of liquids, that is liquid dynamics. Everything can be studied with the help of kinetic theory of liquids. Basically, it is the study of atomic and molecular activity of that particular state. Now, kinetic theory of gases. You know, in the case of gaseous state, the intermolecular distance is so large that there is hardly any intermolecular attractive force, hardly any interatomic attractive force. So the molecules will be always in random motion. So if gas is confined in a particular vessel, if it is confined in a particular container, then that particular gas will have its own properties. The gas will have its own pressure, its own volume, its own temperature, amount of substance. So based on the molecular picture and the motion of these molecular picture, we study the temperature, the pressure, the volume, and all the laws related to gases. All the laws related to gases are based on kinetic theory of gases. So we learn the concepts of temperature, pressure, volume, energy, internal energy, that is basically kinetic energy. So these concepts will be helpful to study the properties of gases. To study the properties of gases. So when we look around us, we see large number of machines. Everywhere we see the machines. We see the automobiles moving on the road. We see the in our home we have a refrigerator, right? We have a gas cylinder in the kitchen. So there are so many machines which are involved with these gases. You see in the automobile engine, it is an internal combustion engine, right? Wherein petrol vapor and air are mixed in the proper proportion, leading to ignition with the help of a spark plug, and then sudden expansion takes place due to the combustion, and that leads to conversion of heat energy into mechanical energy. All these things we have studied. So we are seeing the importance of gases in most of the machineries that we are observing. When we look at the tube light, there is a gas inside, mercury vapor gas, and neon lamps, gas is there inside, right? So refrigerator, there is a working substance, freon gas is there, right? So we are coming across a number of machines which are involved with the gases. So it's very important to study the gases. So we study properties of gases with the help of theory known as kinetic theory of gases. So in this topic we are mainly focusing on kinetic theory of gases rather than that of solids and liquids. Okay. So based on kinetic theory of gases we are going to study the basically pressure, temperature, volume and then gas loss, and then we are studying the specific heats of gases, molar specific heats of gases and molar specific heats of monoatomic gas, diatomic gas and so on, right. So kinetic interpretation is very important to understand all these concepts and the properties of gases. Okay, this is just introduction for the kinetic theory of gases. So we start with the behavior of gases. It's very important to learn about the behavior of gases. Okay, so it's easier compared to the properties of solids and properties of liquids. It's quite easier to learn about the gases. Basically, when you take a gaseous state, the intermolecular distance is so large that there is no almost zero intermolecular interaction. There is nil, there is zero intermolecular interaction existing in the gaseous state because of the large distance between the gaseous molecules. Unless when they are colliding among themselves, when they come close to each other, there will be a force of attraction and there will be a force of repulsion, which we call it as collision. So all the gases at low pressure and high temperature, sufficiently high above their point of liquefaction and above their point of solidification, the temperature, that is what we call it as high temperature. So all the gases at low pressures and sufficiently high temperatures, more than their temperature of liquefaction and more than their temperature of solidification, they all have a common property which is explained by equation relating pressure, volume and temperature. All the gases at low pressures satisfy a simple relation connecting their pressure, volume and temperature. PV is equal to KT, where P is the pressure, V is the volume, T is the temperature in Kelvin scale, temperature in absolute scale, and here is the K. This K is the constant of proportionality. So it is such that PV by T is equal to K, and this K is a constant of proportionality. And here you know P is the pressure and you know, right, now we can just write where T is the temperature in Kelvin scale. Absolute scale or Kelvin scale, and this K depends on number of molecules. K is number of molecules of the sample of the gas, number of molecules of that sample of gas. And this K, as is written, I can write notation, K is directly proportional to N. K is directly proportional to N, where N is the number of molecules of that sample of the gas. Then further, it is noted that this N is found out to be equal to another relation, that is, which is denoted by Nk, not N. This K is directly proportional to N, as I have written. When I have written K is directly proportional to N, so this implies K is equal to NKB, where Kb is called a universal constant, where Kb is called as universal constant, and later on it was denoted by it was found out, its value was found out by Boltzmann, so it is called as Boltzmann constant. So we can write the same equation using substituting the value of K. Therefore, Pv becomes equal to NKBT. Pv becomes equal to NKBT. So we can now define with the help of P, V, N and T for different samples. At different values of pressure, volume and temperature, we can find out the value of Kb, that is Boltzmann constant. See, if P1, V1, T1 are the pressure, volume, temperature of a particular sample having n1 number of molecules, then Kb can be written as P1 V1 upon N1 P1, P1 V1 N1 upon N1 T1 is equal to Kb. For a sample of other set of values, suppose it is P2 V2 and the corresponding number is N2, right? Then we can write the same value Kb as equal to P2 V2 upon N2 T2. The same way we can go on writing P3 V3 upon N3 T3. So that is, one can define what is Boltzmann constant here, which is defined as the product of PV and ratio of product of PV and NT. So this ratio always remains constant, that is called as Boltzmann constant. And this Boltzmann constant is a universal constant, and its value is being found by Boltzmann. It is 1.308. We will just write the value of Boltzmann constant. So thus we define a constant, Boltzmann constant, with the help of this relation P1 V1 upon N1 T1 equal to P2 V2 upon N2 T2, P3 V3 upon N3 T3, which is giving us Boltzmann constant. Now it's very interesting to see here that the irrespective of the gases that you consider, if they possess same value of pressure, volume and temperature, then they will have same number of molecules also. Equal volumes of all the gases at equal pressure and temperature possess same number of molecules. This is what we call it as Avogadro's hypothesis. Equal volume of all the gases at equal pressure and temperature possess same number of molecules, and the number of molecules is called as Avogadro number. This is what we call as Avogadro's hypothesis. So this is Avogadro's hypothesis, that is equal volumes of all gases at equal temperature and pressure have the same number of molecules. So from this equation also we can conclude the number of molecules per unit volume of all the gases at given pressure and temperature is also same. That is what is known as the Avogadro number. It is also known as Avogadro number. Number of molecules per unit volume of all the gases. Number of gases per unit volume of all the gases at fixed pressure and temperature is also same. That is also the meaning of Avogadro's hypothesis. So we can write the number of molecules per unit volume at fixed temperature and pressure, at fixed temperature and fixed pressure is also same. It is called Avogadro number. For example, standard volume, we know standard volume 22.4 liters of gas. 22.4 liters of any gas at STP. At STP, standard temperature and pressure, possess same number of molecules. That is 22. That is what Avogadro's number 6.023 into 10 raised to 20 molecules. So this is denoted by what is known as Avogadro's number. So standard temperature, you must remember, standard temperature is 273 Kelvin, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and standard pressure 1 atmospheric pressure. That is 76 centimeter Hg, that is 1 atmospheric pressure. At this standard pressure and standard temperature and standard volume 22.4 liters of any gas, if you study it, the number of molecules of that gas will be same. This was predicted by Avogadro, and it is called as Avogadro's hypothesis. So kinetic theory of gases, the kinetic theory also confirms by its calculations this Avogadro number. Okay, the amount of this substance, this substance is called as mole. The amount of substance, that is the gram molecular weight. The mass of this much of substance is measured in molecular weight in grams, and it is called as 1 mole. The mass of 22.4 liters of gas is equal to its molecular weight expressed in grams. Molecular weight in grams, or it is also called as gram molecular weight. Mass of 22.4 liters of a gas is equal to its gram molecular weight at STP. This amount of substance is called as a mole. This amount of substance of a gas sample is called 1 mole. So therefore we can conclude 1 mole will possess 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. That is Avogadro number of molecules. So this number is denoted by Na. So 1 mole will have Na. If it is any number of moles, then that number of moles multiplied by Na gives us total number of molecules. So we have already got the equation for the equation relating pressure, volume and temperature. PV is equal to KT. PV is equal to KT, and then we got PV is equal to N kVT. So we got PV is equal to N kVT. Now we can modify this equation to obtain the expression in terms of moles. This equation can be obtained. This is actually in terms of molecules. This can be expressed in terms of moles. That is mu number of moles. Now we get PV equal to N kVT. Now let me divide it and multiply it by Na. PV equal to N by Na kVT. Purposely I am multiplying and dividing it by Avogadro number, so that this ratio of N by Na gives us the number of moles, and Na kV gives us another quantity, that is called as universal gas constant. That is called as universal gas constant. Here Na corresponds to 1 mole of sample. Therefore, N corresponds to how many moles? If you calculate, Na corresponds to 1 mole, therefore N corresponds to how many moles? So we get N upon Na, that is, let us take it as mu number of moles. So mu moles. So N upon Na thus can be written as mu number of moles. Therefore, PV is equal to mu times Na kVT. This product of Avogadro number and Boltzmann constant is constant for all the gases. For 1 mole of gas, it is called as gas constant, RT. So thus we get the perfect gas equation, where R is equal to Na kV, where R is Avogadro number, R is the universal gas constant, which is a product of Avogadro number and Boltzmann constant. So if you take the product of Avogadro number and Boltzmann constant, we get a gas constant, that is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 into Boltzmann constant 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23. If you calculate this, this comes out to be 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin. So this is how we get universal gas constant. Universal gas constant, and this is how we get perfect gas equation. Perfect gas equation for a gas of mu number of moles. If number of moles is equal to 1, mu becomes equal to 1, then we get PV equal to RT. PV is equal to RT, right? Then if it is a mu number of moles of a sample, then we get PV is equal to mu RT. So I think you got the value of universal gas constant using this relation. R is equal to Na Kb. R is equal to Na Kb is a universal constant. It is called universal gas constant. So we got the ratio, that is mu is equal to N by Na. In the same way, in terms of molecular weight, we can also write it as M by M naught. M by M naught, where M naught is the mass of 1 mole of that sample. Mass of 1 mole of that sample, and M is the mass of mu moles of sample. Mass of molecules of mu number of moles. So this is moles expressed in this is the number actually, so that when you cancel this weights SI unit of mass, the SI unit of mass cancels, you will be getting just a number, that is mu number of moles of that particular sample. So it is a ratio of actual molecular mass of that sample to the gram molecular weight of that sample at STP. Okay, this is how we get the value of the mu moles. Now, one more thing to be noted here is that it can be also expressed in terms of the number of molecules per unit volume. Number of molecules per unit volume. So that becomes number density of molecules. So if we take this equation, PV equal to N kBd, PV equal to N kBd, if you take volume this side, P is equal to N by V into kBt. So this N by V is number of molecules per unit volume. So thus it can be also written as small n kBt. So this is pressure expressed in terms of number of molecules per unit volume, that is number density of molecules, where N is equal to N by V is number of molecules per unit volume. Okay, so this is about the perfect gas equation and Avogadro's hypothesis. Now we are going to start the kinetic theory of gases with assumptions. They are called as postulates. So we study the kinetic theory of an ideal gases. Kinetic theory of an ideal gas. See, sample of gas taken in a container is a collection of large number of molecules of that gas, and since the distance between the molecules of the gas is very large, so these molecules are in constant random motion. They are in incessant random motion. So when they come in closer contact, then they will have an interaction among themselves and they will have collision among themselves. When they collide among themselves, then their speed, their velocities, their speed changes and their path changes. So based on these observations, experimental observations, there are certain assumptions, postulates made as far as gases are concerned. The gases are made up of atoms and molecules. Atoms or molecules. The molecular volume is negligibly small when compared to the volume of the gas. The size of an atom is of the order of angstrom, and intermolecular distance or interatomic distance will be more than 10 angstrom. So intermolecular distance is very large. So molecular volume is negligible compared to volume of the gas. Molecules are always in constant random motion, as I have told you, because of available energy. They will be always in a random incessant motion, and when they are in motion, you see, before they collide with another particle, they will be having constant speed. So they follow the Newton's laws of motion. The movement of molecules is governed by Newton's first law, second law and third law. So when they are in motion, they will be moving with constant speed. When they collide with the other molecules and when they collide with the walls of the container, then their speed changes, right? and the molecular collisions, when they are interact among themselves, when they come in close contact with each other, they interact among themselves, and that is what we call it as collisions. When the collisions take place, they are perfectly elastic collisions. When we say that they are perfectly elastic collisions, then the kinetic energy of the molecules before collision and after collision is conserved, and momentum is also conserved. Both kinetic energy of the molecules and momentum of the molecules are conserved. So based on these assumptions, we are going to calculate what is the pressure exerted by a sample of gas molecules taken in a container in the next video, and then we will study kinetic interpretation of temperature. Thank you. Have a nice day.